All right, so we are getting there. Okay, I don't think we're even halfway yet. There's a lot of knowledge here, and actually, I'm just talking all the way through this. Shows you my understanding and my knowledge that I can just speak. I'm not reading slides and do. But anyway, in my course, I give you more information and I show slides and all that. And Surah Yasin now, Surah Yasin, chapter 36, verse 38. And so in my little video with Master Ali Answers Dr. Rafakat, he also talked about this verse, okay? Because this verse has a twist to it, all right? And people are questioning the Quran on this verse as well, and we'll look at that. And just actually within the last few days, I signed up for a new course on Al-Bala on Surah Yasin. And my main interest is actually I want to see how the scholar is going to interpret verse 38. Okay? Because 99% probability he's going to do it wrong. Okay? I know. I can tell you. And let's see. Okay? If I'm wrong, I will admit I'm wrong. But usually I'm hardly once in a while wrong. Alright? So, now, it says here, the sun travels for its fixed term. That is the design of the Almighty All-Knowing. And see how they change it to fixed term when it says here is a term appointed. And these other ones here, it says, and the sun runs on course towards a stopping point. Okay, actually that's what we're looking for, is its stopping point. Here they don't say stopping point, but to a term appointed. Let's go down here and look at. Okay, here he said, and Marmaduke Pickthall says, and the sun runneth on until a resting place for him. Okay, and the sun runs his course for a period determined for him. Okay, now what I want to know is, what is this appointed place? What is this resting place? Over here we had one here, okay, towards its destination. Stopping point. Now when you go on a journey, okay, let's say you're traveling on the highway. You're going from one city to another city, or one country to another country, and then you go in transit. Okay, for example, you're flying from Malaysia to, I don't know, Spain. Okay, so maybe you'll transit in Dubai. Okay, so you get out of the plane, but time goes by. Maybe 3 hours, 4 hours for the next connecting flight. Okay, there's something that you can monitor to see that something happened. So the people who are attacking the Quran, they're trying to tell you, your book says the sun runs on a course towards its stopping point. So where is that stopping point? Show me, and I will become a Muslim. Or I will believe in your Quran. And what do the scholars say? We don't know. We change the words. Okay? So, there is a stopping point for the sun. And right now, what you need to understand is the sun that is referenced in this verse is not the white sun. The people are looking at the white sun because that's the only sun they know. They only know the white sun. They don't realize that below the earth, below the flat earth, there is a black sun moving on a coil. It has a starting point and it has a stopping point. Now, that stopping point, I talk in my videos about that and in my course. And This is actually what causes the sun and the moon to move on a path, a cycle, a 26,000 year cycle. Okay? I'm not going to give you all the details because I don't want to. I want you to go take my course. Right? So, now, the sun, imagine this, is on a coil. It starts at the top. It goes down and down and down, and it takes 26,000 years to reach the bottom. And then it will go underneath the throne of Allah. Who on this earth right now live for 26,000 years? Nobody, because mankind is only about 7,500 years. All this bull crap of Lucy in Ethiopia and all this garbage that man is like millions or 1 million or 2 million and cavemen and all this nonsense. Pure garbage. But actually from the books of the Bible, and this is where I get this knowledge from, mankind from the time of Prophet Adam alayhi wasalam to today is about 7,500 years. It's actually a little bit lesser than that, but I'll just round it up. 7,500 years. So nobody has not seen the sun go from the starting point down to the stopping point. Okay? So, but when the sun goes down, that is the stopping point of the sun. And remember what I told you before in a previous verse, it only goes down in one direction. It doesn't go back up. It doesn't rise up. Okay? The concept that the sun will rise up will be the day just before the day of judgment. Alright? So I think that's basically it. I won't spend too much time on this verse because we've got a lot more to cover. So that's it. Let's move on. Okay, and here we are to the next relevant verse. Okay, this is chapter 37, As-Safat, verse 5. Okay, and here it says here, He is the Lord of the heavens and the earth and everything in between, and the Lord of all points of sunrise. And if we look at some of the other verses, they look like they're all very much similar. This one here says, the Lord of the heavens and the earth, and of whatever lies between the two, the Lord of the east. And the east here is representing, okay, the sun does not always rise at the same point. Okay, and that's because of the black sun. But at a different point every day. Moreover. And this doesn't actually make any bloody sense. Okay? Because, well, anyway, it does make sense. Because the sun, the black sun moving on the coil, every day the coil is moving downwards. So every day the sun will be in a different place. Okay? And so actually that is true. That is true. Over a 26,000 period cycle. Moreover, it does not rise at one and the same time for the whole world, but rises at different times for the different parts of the earth. So this is basically, he's thinking the white sun. You can see that. That is why the plural masharik, east, has been used to indicate the different points at which the sun rises according to the season of the year. And again, he's referring to the white sun. So the corresponding word, Maghrib, west, has not been used because Masharik itself points to Maghrib. However, in Surah Al-Maraj, well, I didn't check about this surah before. The word Maghrib also has been used along with Masharik, Rabb Sharik wal Maghrib. Okay, maybe later we can go look at that. But anyway, you can go look it up on your own. But the reference here is again dealing with the white sun. And this is going to give him the wrong information. So here we got Yusuf Ali, Lord of the heavens and the earth and all between them, and the Lord of every point at the rising of the sun. And Lord of the heavens and the earth and all that is in between them, and the Lord of every point of the sun's rising. Okay, so now should I tell you a little bit more details, or should I just let you go get my course? Alright, so I'll give you a little bit of hints. Okay, you got Mount Qaf. Around Mount Qaf is 360 springs. Okay, then you got the sun, the black sun, in the center of all that. Okay, so I believe that these points are actually referring to all these different springs. These springs, each one, there's actually only one spring that contains the Ain al-Hayat. Okay, the water of life, the spring of life, only one. The rest of them are all decoys. Okay, so whoever wants to go find it, it's not an easy task. It's not an easy task. All right, but if you are chosen by Allah to find it, then you will find it, no problem. Like Qadir was able to find it, Prophet Qadir, and he found it, no problem. All right, so now again, these people, okay, these scholars are talking about the rising of the sun, and when you think rising of the sun, you're thinking east, and that's what he said, the Lord of the East. Okay, so but Allah is referring not to the white sun in this verse, he's referring to the black sun. All right, and like I said, around this area, these points is related to these springs and to this area. I may be wrong about that, but I'm 100% correct that this rising of the sun is related to the black sun. All right, so we'll leave it to that. You can learn more, and then you can come back to me and say, Master Ali, you know, based on what you started telling us, I think I figured it out. All right, so let's go to the next verse, because we're still not done yet. All right, here we are to Surah Qaf, chapter 50, verse 39. So it says here, so be patient, O Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with what they say. Now, to know what they say, you need to go back. Okay, we're not really going to go back right now. And glorify the praises of your Lord before sunrise and before sunset. Okay, so this is just saying that, you know, before sunrise is what? Nighttime. Before sunset, daytime. Now, is this right? No. Okay, I hope you're getting things and you're understanding better now. Let's look at another translation. So be patient, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, over what they say, and exalt Allah with praise of your Lord before the rising of the sun and before its setting. Now, all this we have covered before. The rising of the sun will be the second last sign before the great fire. The black sun will rise up. Okay? So, before it is done, praise Allah. Thank Allah. Ask for forgiveness from Allah. Because after that time, there is nothing. See, you got to remember, everyone, okay, Allah says in this Quran is for men who reflect, for men who think, for men of understanding. God wants us to go deeper into these verses. Sometimes going into these verses to go deeper, you got to go research other things. Sometimes you got to go research other scriptures. I had one person message me, or I talked to him on the phone. He said he doesn't want to go research the Bible because it says it's wrong. This is a blinding effect on people. We're looking for knowledge. This is what we're doing. He told me the Quran and the Hadith is complete. He doesn't need to go look into any other book. Good luck to you, brother. Okay? So, I'm not here to force you to do anything that you do not want to do. You want to learn, you want to go deeper into these verses, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you, reflect on these verses, go deeper on these verses. These verses are for men who think, for men who reflect, for men of understanding. And God is not telling us all the details in this verse. And in some of these other verses, like I said, the one with Surah Kaf, verse 86. There's no hadith that tells you who these people are. There's no hadith who tells you who Zul Qarnain is. So how do you find out who these people are? You gotta go back to the Bible. Bible has some history that we can find out who these people are, what happened to them, and then we can come back to that verse 86. And then it all makes sense. So, it's your choice to the extent of how you want to learn. Okay? Now, so this we've already covered. We've already covered. I don't need to go further on this. Okay? It's already covered. So let's move on. Okay, here's the next verse, Surah Nuh, chapter 71, verse 16. And it says here, placing the moon within them as a reflected light, and the sun as a radiant light. So reflected light and radiant lamp. And let's check all the other translations. So we got, and made the moon therein a reflected light, and made the sun a burning lamp. And I don't agree with some of these other translations here. And made the moon a light in their midst, and made the sun as a glorious lamp. Now, actually, when I look at these translations up here with the word reflected, it's actually really, really interesting, okay, that they use the word reflected. You probably do not know this, but the moon, okay, you know, the moon is okay. Some of you are probably thinking, oh, Master Ali, this is very easy to understand. The sun's light reflects on the moon, which makes the moon bright. No, it doesn't work that way. And very easy to disprove what you just said. You know, for example, daytime, you go out in the sun, it's hot. You go in the shade, it's cool. Right? Moonlight, you go out in the moonlight, it is warmer. You go in the moon shade, it's the opposite. You go in the moon shade, it is hotter. You go in the moonlight, it is cooler. It's the opposite to the sun. If the sun is reflecting off of the moon, the moon is reflecting off of the sun to make its brightness, then why does it have the opposite properties, opposite attributes? So it doesn't make logical sense that there's any reflection of the moon's light to the sun. From the sun's light to the moon's light. So, but the moon actually is a negative. What do I mean by a negative? Okay, it's, you know, remember the old days? We used to have the films in our camera, okay, and then you take it to the shop, and they develop the film on paper, and they give you these little negative film strips. Now, the younger people today would have not any idea what I'm talking about, but the older generation will understand. So actually, this little negative image, you can hold it up to the light, and you can see your pictures, right? But that is what the moon is. And actually, you know those dark patches on the moon that they told us are seas, okay, from like 1 billion years ago, some stupid thing like that. They're actually, it's an imprint on the moon of the Earth's surface, of the continents on the surface. The surface of the earth is being reflected onto the moon. The oceans, the deeps, the depths of the oceans, all that is reflected onto the moon. The firmament above is reflected onto the moon. The stars are reflected onto the surface of the moon. Did you know all that? I bet you would if you take my course, The Riptides of Astronomy. Okay, and there's actually a lot more things about the moon that you would learn in that course. Okay, it's a super fantastic course. So now, placing the moon within them as a reflected light and the sun as a radiant lamp. Okay, so the sun, we know, is actually all the white sun is a pilot light moving around the atmosphere and activating the gases around it. Okay, and turning them on, exciting the gases. The gases get excited, and then you get your blue sky. Simple as that. And that's why when you look at the horizon, you kind of see like a curve of the blue and the white and the darkness following it. Okay, it's all because of that. So that is what this verse is referring to as reflected. And like I said, there's a lot of more knowledge of the moon that we were never ever taught in school. Okay, another whole side of truth. All right, so get my course and you'll learn more. And let's go to the next verse. Thank you. Okay, the next verse. Okay, the next verse is actually Surah Al-Qiyamah, chapter 75, verse 9. But I'm actually going back to verse 7 to actually give some context, okay, of these verses and how it relates to the sun. Now, so verse 7 says, "But when the sight is stunned," and what's a sight? Your vision. It says it right now. So when the vision is dazzled. So what kind of event would cause your vision to get dazzled? Okay? Like, oh my God. Okay? This would be an event that will shock everybody to see. Okay? Okay, let's go to verse 77. That was verse 7. Let's go to verse 8. "And the moon is dimmed." What does it mean by dimmed? Here they say, "And the moon darkens, and the moon will lose its light." And the moon is eclipsed. Eclipse is not really the right word. Okay? But actually, this one I like. "And the moon will lose its light." This one makes the most sense. Because, and then if we go to the verse 9 now, "And the sun and the moon are brought together." Okay? So, I mentioned this before. The rising of the black sun coming up through the void, okay, it will basically destroy Mount Kaf. Mount Kaf will be obliterated. Okay? And then it will basically explode, creating a fire 360 degrees, burning everything. It will burn and burn and burn and burn and burn. Okay? Remember, 6,000 Kelvin. Everything will burn. Okay? So, everything will catch fire at that point. And just everything will be destroyed. So, that is a sight that will dazzle you. Right? And when the moment the black sun starts to rise up, there is no more moon and no more white sun. They will basically be joined together into nothing. Okay? With the angle of incidence as is coming up, the moment Mount Kaf is destroyed, there will be no more white sun, no more moon. Everything will be pure darkness. It will be pitch dark. There'll be no electricity. Maybe some areas will still have some electricity until the fire comes and destroys everything. And if we look at the next verse, "On that day one will cry, 'Where is the escape?'" There is no escape. we cannot leave this earth. There is no Mars to go to or stupid things like that. Okay? And right there he's telling you, God is telling you, but no, there will be no refuge. There is no escape. Who do you want to I don't want to say who do you want to trust. I say who do you want to believe? NASA is saying, okay, we're going to build colonies in space. But yet God is telling you there is no refuge. There is no escape. So I believe what God is telling you. And I would say don't believe what NASA is telling you. And so on that day, all will end up before your Lord. That is the final day. That's why Allah is reminding us. So all will then be informed of what they have sent forth and behind. So we'll stop there. So now, that's the verses we talked about before, where God was saying, pray to Him, praise Him, thank Him, ask Him for your forgiveness before this day happens, where the sun will rise up. Not sunrise, no. The sun will rise up. Okay? And before it's setting, it's finished. Alright? So, we're almost done actually. Let's finish these verses up. Alright? Let's go to the next one. Thank you. Okay. Surah At-Takwir, chapter 81, verse 1. And it says here, when the sun is put out. Now this one is questionable. I could make this point for the white sun, and I can make this point for the black sun. For the white sun, the moment the black sun rises up, the white sun is out. Gone. Remember, the white sun and the moon are reflected images. They're plasma, transparent objects. Okay? Now, let's say I take a flashlight, okay? And I shine the flashlight onto the wall, okay? Torchlight, right? I shine the light onto the wall. Now, what is the source? Is the source the reflected image on the wall, or is the source the flashlight, the torchlight? The torchlight, of course. So when the sun is put out, you turn off the flashlight, you turn off the source, that reflected light that you saw on the wall or the ground is out. It's the same thing like on your phone. You know, your phone, you have this light at the back. You go to your phone, you turn on light, the light comes on. You turn off light, the light goes off, right? But where is the source? The source of the light is right here, not on the ground that you're looking at, right? So this, in my opinion, the stronger case would be the black sun. When Allah puts out the sun, okay, off of its path, okay, it will basically, like I said, it's going to blow up Mount Kaf. That mountain will be gone. It'll cause, maybe it'll explode, causing a instant wave of destruction of everything. You know those movies you see, like I don't know, 2012 or something like that, or Asteroid or Meteorite. You know, when the meteorite drops onto the Earth and it creates this crater, and you see the explosion wave going around 360 degrees and destroying everything in its path. Okay, what's another one called? Asteroids, right? Which are all fake. There's no such thing as asteroids or meteorites. Meteorites, yes. Okay, but that it's all explained with a different way in my course. All right. So if you always have been having a fear that the Earth is going to be obliterated by a asteroid, that is a joke. That will never ever happen. And when you understand the truth of the creation, when you watch these movies like Asteroid or 2012 and all these things, You'll just sit back, eat the popcorn, and enjoy it as a flicks. A joke movie. Alright? There's nothing to take it any bit serious. Alright? So anyway, that I go into detail in my course. The riptides of astronomy. Now going back to here. So we go back to the analogy of the torchlight. When I turn off the switch, the light goes off. That's it. Right? So when the sun is put out, everything is in darkness. Okay? So when the sun is wrapped up in darkness. Alright? And then I clicked on the footnote here, when the sun shall be folded up. So this who is this? This is M.A.S. Abdul Halim. This is a matchless metaphor for causing the sun to lose its light. Takwir means to fold up. Hence, takwir al-amama is used for folding up the turban on the head. Here, the light which radiates from the sun and spreads throughout the solar system has been likened to the turban, and it has been said that on the day of resurrection, the turban will be folded up about the sun and its radiation will fade. Okay, this is all wrong. All wrong. And I can say that because I know it's wrong based on this two words, solar system. Now I highlighted the footnote from this other one here. Narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the sun and the moon will be folded up, or joined together, or deprived of their lights. So there'll be no black sun creating the white sun and creating the moon. Presto. They're deprived of their properties, and therefore they are gone. Simple as that. Alright, so let us go to the last verse. Thank you. Okay, and here we go. Surah Shams, chapter 91, verse 1. Okay, and now, if you made it this far, congratulations. Okay, I don't know how many people will make it to the end. Alright, because why? They're lazy, and all they want is little TikTok 1 minute, 2 minute videos to learn all this information. Okay, and those people can just go along their little merry way and go learn fake astronomy for all I care. Alright, but if you made it to the end, it means that you want to learn. You really want to learn. Alright, and don't stop. Continue with my courses, and you will learn tremendous amount more. And when you look at what the scholars have been telling us, you know, look at all these guys here, all these great scholars. Ibn Kathir is telling that he saw the sun as if it were setting in the ocean, and that's pure rubbish. And you can understand now, look, from the perspective of the eye, that's pure rubbish. And perhaps he reached the shore of an ocean and saw it like that, as if there was nothing in his sight. Pure rubbish. This is our scholars. They have failed us. They have failed us. So learn this knowledge yourself. And I'm not telling you to go shoot all these scholars. Okay, these guys learn. They have great knowledge. All right, but they have failed us. So let's go back to this verse. So verse 91, by the sun and its brightness. Okay, and let's look at some of the other verses. I swear by the sun and his broad light, by the sun in its morning brightness, by the sun and its heat and brightness. Okay, by the sun and his glorious splendor. Now, it is incredible how the white sun and the moon are created. It is magnificent. And maybe this is why the shaitan is hiding this knowledge from us, because if we knew how the white sun was really truly created, subhanallah, we would bow down in prostration and we will never raise our head up. Because of the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and how He created everything on this earth. It is magnificent. It is magnificent. This is why you need to spend the money and the time and the knowledge to learn. I say spend the money because you got to pay for my courses. Right? So, if you want my courses for free, ask me. Maybe I'll give it and maybe I won't. Alright? So, anyway, look. The sun, by the sun and his brightness. This is referring to the white sun. Okay? And the next verse is saying, and the moon as it follows it. Okay? Now, actually, this can be the black sun because the moon doesn't follow the yellow sun. It actually follows the black sun. Okay? Because they're individually created. But in a way, the moon and the sun, the white sun, are both on a path. And, this is actually, okay, I'm going to give you a bonus ayah here. Okay, and right now, let me just show you the rest of this verses here. And the day as it unveils itself, and the night as it concedes itself. Okay, so this is talking about the creation of the day and the night, and the creation of this white sun and the moon. Okay, but if I go back to Surah Yasin here, Surah Yasin, and I go to verse 40. Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here, it is not for the sun to catch up with the moon, nor does the night outrun the day. Sometimes they say outstrip. I'm usually used to outstrip. Okay, here, outstrip the day, outstrip the day, outstrip the day. That's why I stumbled there for a minute, because in my head I'm thinking outstrip the day. So it is not permitted to the sun to catch up to the moon, nor can the night outstrip the day. Each just swims along in its orbit according to God's law, Allah's law. Now, so this is referring to the white sun and the moon, confirmed. But what Allah is telling you, okay, what NASA has taught us is that, okay, the sun is way back there, and the earth and the moon is way over here. Okay, 93 million miles apart, or 150 million kilometers apart. That's very far. So why would Allah make it a point to tell you that it is not permitted to the sun to catch up to the moon? Now these trolls who want to disbelieve the concept of the flat earth will say the sun has a gravitational field and will pull the earth and the moon into it. That's pure garbage. Gravity doesn't exist. There's no such thing as gravity. Gravity is a theory of gravity. Gravity is a lie. That's why physics is a lie. Alright? So there's other parts of physics that's also lies as well. And I talk about that in my course too. So it is not permitted for the sun to catch up to the moon. So the sun, okay, for example here, I don't have another one. Oh, here. Okay, this is a white one. This is let's say this is the moon. This is the sun. It's not permitted for them to catch up to each other. Alright? So if it's not permitted for them to catch up to each other, then what is this gravitational force? Okay? So the thing is it's kind of obvious. If you got the sun way back there and the moon way over there, they're never gonna catch up to each other, and they're never gonna destroy each other. So why does Allah make it a point to tell us about it? Why? Can anyone tell me the reason why He makes it a point to tell us this? He's making a point to tell us because the sun is not 93 million miles away. The sun, and actually this is a bad representation because actually the sun and the moon are the exact same size and they are near to each other. Okay? They're actually about 5,500 kilometers from the Earth. Okay? And they're both on their path, and there's a possibility that they can hit each other. You know, you got two trains on the same track. Do you think there's a possibility to hit each other? Of course. Okay? But actually what is very interesting is that and this is how it deals with eclipses. They're both transparent objects, and actually the moon and the sun actually just pass through each other. And that is what you see when there's an eclipse. There is no shadow of the earth or moon or sun and all this nonsense. Okay, you got lunar eclipses, you got solar eclipses. There's no such thing as that garbage. There's only one eclipse, and basically it's the sun and the moon passing through each other. They're both transparent objects. Okay, you take one flashlight and I take another flashlight. Okay, do they crash into each other, the lights? No, they merge together. That's all that's happening. So actually this concept I go deeper into my course. And also many people, we know the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam where he split the moon. Okay, and NASA seems to say that, hey, there's a crack on the moon, and that's where, and the people say, that's where the Prophet said that the moon got cracked. And actually all that is nonsense. I'm not saying what happened to the Prophet is nonsense. I'm saying about this NASA and about the crack. There is no crack on the moon. But actually in my course, I explain how the Prophet separated the moon in two using a different idea. All right, so I am extremely tired, and this is the end of this free video I'm giving you, free knowledge I'm giving you on the moon, and I hope it's beneficial to you. And please share this video with more people so more people can learn and get more benefit from this knowledge of the truth and the truth of astronomy. Okay, and then when you relate the truth back to all these verses, now you can go back and you can find all those 33 references to the sun, and you can find, I think there's about 28 or 27 or 28 references to the moon. But you can go through the sun and you can start to think and analyze, is this verse talking about the white sun or the black sun? Okay, and then you have power and you become closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, and before we close off, I mentioned that I created another video about Mount Qaf, and this is the video, the first mountain. This is the first mountain Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created on our flat earth. Okay, and there's a lot of significance to this mountain. Okay, and so anyway, this is actually part 15 of my astronomy course, the Riptides of Astronomy. And but I made this video available for free. You can find it on my YouTube channel and go and watch it and learn more. And I also mentioned that earlier, this is another series that I did, Grandmaster Ali Responds to a Mufti. This is a Mufti from South Africa. During the 2020-21 lockdown days, okay, this Mufti was very, vocal, okay? And I give credit to him because he was saying some good things. But unfortunately, he decided to side with medical doctors and screwed up his whole knowledge and understanding of some particular hadith related to sickness. And I have done a lot of extensive research on sickness. And in this course, I will tell you how to go to my website where you can download my health book. If you have any sickness, get my health book and learn the truth about sickness. So anyway, this is a 17 segment series. He gave a lecture. Okay, this was 2023 August, and it was about 1 hour 52 minutes his lecture. So I broke his lecture into 17 segments. That's 17 times I need to correct him because he's giving false knowledge. Okay? Who am I? I'm not a mufti. He's the mufti. This son of a gun is the one. This is why I really get ticked off with their scholars. Is because I expect more from them. I expect them to stand up for us. I expect them to teach us the truth. Why am I teaching them the truth? Because Allah gave me the knowledge and not them. And He doesn't get it. Okay? So, anyway, when you watch this, segment 3 you'll find very interesting if you're into astronomy, because I explain why there is no universe. Why there is no solar system, no galaxies, no planets. Okay? And in my course, I think I do it in here as well, but I explain why the Muslim astronomers were 100% wrong in what they saw. What they saw is not what they think they saw. Alright? So, we'll leave it to that. This course is awesome for health. Okay? There's a lot of information I will go through and teach you about sickness. Okay? And viruses and all germs and all that stuff. Okay? So if that interests you, this series is free. Go and watch it. Start with segment 1 and go all the way down to 17. By 13 to 17, I took it and put it onto my mega storage. Because some of the stuff I said, YouTube disagreed. Okay? 2 of the videos got banned. Okay? So I had to take them off and put them onto a separate location. Alright? So, but anyway, the links are all there. If you have any problem getting to it, you contact me and I will help you. I'll tell you where to find all the videos. But this is what happens when you speak the truth. YouTube doesn't like it. Alright, so to hell with YouTube. Do you hear me, YouTube? To hell with you. Alright, so I am Grandmaster Ali, and thank you. Ameen. So I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He opens your heart and your mind to the truth and brings you closer to Him. Alright, in knowledge and wisdom and understanding. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. So, you can contact me if you have any questions about these, about anything that I've said. You can contact me if you want to take any of my courses. Anyway, you can contact me for any question you have. Alright, thanks a lot. See you. Goodbye. Assalamu alaikum.
Eksik olmaz yüksek dağın dumanı, Allahu alemdir yazmış fermanı. 18.000 alem devri devranı, Yaradan aşkına durmadan yürü.